Hi guys, this is FFAN16 and welcome to my early access video, my thoughts so far on Stormblood. So let's get started. So right off the bat here, I'm going to put a spoiler warning. This contains beginning footage of Stormblood. You have been warned. So as we begin here, you would be given a quest, at which point you would get to the map, which will show you that you are moving from your current location to this new area of Erosia to continue on. So once that finishes, you will be getting into the beginning cinematic. It's a really good introduction to the area. This isn't the main hub of this area. It's just one of the smaller towns outside, which kind of just introduces you to the after the wall here. You're going to look around, and of course in every new town you're going to have the crystal, so make sure you go up to it and you sync so that you have a fast travel and ability to come back here a lot easier than having to run and gain access through the long way. Also, when you begin in this area, you cannot fly. As with Heaven's Ward, you're going to make sure you kept your compass. If not, I do believe you could go somewhere to purchase it. Sorry, I'm not familiar with right now where you can go to repurchase the compass if you have sold it. But you'll be able to find ether crystals or the ether points to be able to gather them up for the area, and then once you be able to have them all, you'll be able to fly again. So that's really cool. I really enjoyed that, running around and gathering all of those in Heaven's Ward. Kind of gives you something to do. As we continue on here, we're going to get into this new area. Again, run up to the, I believe it's the amethyst crystal, and sync to it. Now you can make this your home if you want, but again, like I said, this isn't the main hub. You're gonna go to another area that's gonna be like the main area. And then what they're doing here is they're kind of cutting it into little segments where you would pick one of three, because the server's getting full. They want to make sure that there's not lag or waiting times for people to be able to do stuff. The only problem that we're finding though is there's still an issue with one of the main story quests that goes into a single instance duty. It's kicking you out before you even get into the duty itself. You get to see this beginning cinematic, and then you get kicked out. This is very frustrating because a lot of people can't continue, and you're pretty much stuck in this area until you're able to continue the storyline. Very few people right now are getting through. This may be a bug, we're not too sure, but it's one of the issues that is occurring in Stormblood at the moment. Also, I am playing this game on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I am finding that, like Heaven's Ward when it came out, some of my settings got reset back to default, and I had to go back in and reset my settings. Now, this isn't a big issue, but the problem is that the options menu that comes up that gives you all your different tiles and you can select all the different categories under it is very tiny. And when I make that hub larger, it enlarges everything else on my PlayStation. Even my character menu is so large that it's impossible to manage. So I had to go put that back to small, and that, I believe that was an issue with Heaven's Ward when it first came out as well, and they did fix it. So I hope with Stormblood that they get enough feedback that they fix some of these minor issues that we're seeing on the PlayStation 4. Also, I've noticed a bit of glitching with switching between my different classes and jobs, where it would freeze up on me and not register that I've done a job switch until I exit the character screen, and then it would switch into my new job, or it won't switch at all, and then I'd have to go back into my character screen and kind of force the job switch. So there is some issues and lag with that as well. Other than that, this new area is really gorgeous. It's a lot of terrain, and nothing's really a straight and narrow path. You do have to go up and down different levels in the areas, so just venture around, open up the map is really fun. Find those ether crystals, those ability to gather them up so that you can get your flying mount back so that you can fly in the area, because it is a bit tedious to have to run around everywhere again since we're so used to flying in the Heaven's Ward areas. So that's definitely a bonus side feature here to make it fun. As you see, we're now in the main hub for this area. This is where they have their base. It's kind of the same area that you saw in the trailer. Actually, it is the same area that you saw in the trailer, so I will correct myself there. And then she just walks around and meets everybody again, and the storyline allows you to get into picking your quest, the main story quests. When we get back to a scene where I have my hub out, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the changes you're going to notice in your your character screens here when you're playing. That's a little bit different from Heaven's Ward. So we'll just wait here for a second. Okay, so as you notice, you've got this new main story quest duty on the top there. It is placed wherever they randomly like to place it, so you're gonna have to reorganize your hub again, make it look like the way you want it to look. But it's really cool. It like really brings your attention to what the main story quest part you're working on. If there's 2 main story quests, it puts it to the one that you're focused on at the moment, and then you could go and find out more information directly from this screen instead of going to your options screen, going to duties, or going to your journal and finding out what you're working on at the moment. Also, if you may have noticed from some of the pre-game concepts and videos that had come out, you get an extra little gauge. Now, for the Paladin, which I enjoy playing, you only get this gauge once you put Shield Oath on. And upon filling that gauge, you can use one of the abilities that they've locked to only be usable at a certain point of the gauge being filled. 2 moves that the Paladin would be using with this gauge would be the Charlatan at level 52 and the Intervention at level 62. You guys have to forgive me, I'm having a bit of a slurring day, so if some of my words don't come out clearly, I do apologize. I had apparatus in my mouth taken out, so I'm just learning to pronounce my words properly, so please forgive any mispronunciations of stuff within the game. So as with you filling the gauge, they still have the same amount of usage quota, like with the Charlatan, it uses 50, so it would use 50 points of that gauge fill. I think it fills up to 100 or a little over 100, so you're going to be using up that gauge every time you use that move, or when it reaches that increment, that move will become available for you to use. Personally, I'm not too sure why they picked that move at 52. I hardly ever use it in Heaven's Ward, but I do find that I'm using it a little bit more now, as it is one of my specialty moves rather than just a random move that uses TP. Besides that, the gameplay has been really fun. It's really nice to explore a new area again. You got more bag space, which is awesome because that bag just gets full. As you noticed, it was pretty much full before Stormblood came out. Your retainers also got more room in their bag, so check it out. Start hoarding, guys. They've given us more bag space. We've also, I believe, later on we'll be able to increase our chocobo, our mount speeds. Now I'm not too sure if that's going to be a quest. I'm definitely going to be looking that up. As you notice, I just did Shield Oath and Sword Oath. Those 2 will have their own gauges that will produce and fill. But if you activate Shield Oath and you had Sword Oath on, the gauge that the Sword Oath had filled will go back down to 0 for Shield Oath, and vice versa. So just be aware that when you're hitting those buttons, anything you've accumulated will go right down to 0. And what I'm really going to try to do here is get a little bit more used to my tank again. With the new, your actions are still there, they're just seen in a different way. So you might want to reorganize your hotbar a little bit for the new way that they have designated the actions to behave. Besides that, like I said, I'm going to get used to her a little bit more, and maybe I'll do a little bit more in-depth video with my Paladin. I'd also like to do one with my White Mage, and have my twin sister Lexi May, that's her name in the game here, to come on and talk about barding, as she has done barding since the beginning of time and she's been really good at it. Then she could help any bards that are interested in picking up that role or are currently getting used to the new Stormblood system. So guys, I hope you pick up this expansion. Like I said, it's super fun to have something new to do in Final Fantasy XIV, and looking forward to this for a really long time. The music is gorgeous. It's very twingy with the different types of instruments that they're using, a little bit more oriental feeling. So you're definitely going to get a different feel of the land. The land's slightly bigger, like they said they were going to, so there's lots of exploration to do and a lot of enemies to fight. And what's really cool as well, some of the fates have extra bonuses attached to them, like extra experience points or something like that if you come to that fate and you finish it. So they're really helping you in gaining those levels quickly to get yourself up to 70, as that's the new level cap within Stormblood. So I'm going to leave you guys here with this little bit of tidbit of video. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you have early access, if you don't and you're waiting for the release date, I believe it's on the 20th of this month. We're only 3 days away for you guys, so be excited. Jump in. Hopefully by then they've had some of these glitches fixed. I'm not too sure if anybody on the PC is experiencing the same issues with their hub and their display of their options as I am. I know a lot of people are having that single instance not working for them and getting in and continuing the storyline, so we're really hoping Square Enix comes and does a fix for that before the release on the 20th, or everybody's going to be stuck in this area, just gets bombarded by people standing by this one main story quest and unable to continue. But other than that, run around, get the ether crystals so that you can start collecting that so you could get your flying back in this area. Enjoy the game, guys. Welcome back for more story content, and enjoy. This is FFAN16. Thank you for stopping by and watching my short video on my first thoughts and impressions of Stormblood. Put a like below if you like what I'm doing. Again, sorry for the slurring and the mispronunciation of some of the words in the game. My tongue and my teeth aren't really playing together friendly at the moment. But put a like, subscribe for more upcoming videos, hopefully some more Stormblood, and I'll try to do some more streaming on Kingdom Hearts, but Final Fantasy XII is coming out in less than a month, so I do want to stream that as well. And as always, guys, happy gaming.